Alright, so this is chapter 3. It is the second hardest chapter, but really only for the last section. So you can use the body bag to jump, or you can use that ledge thing right there. But if you're on the ledge, it's kind of hard to see. I assume the mouse traps kill you or trap you, but I've never actually ran into them. Maybe they don't do anything. That ramp is usually pretty easy to push down. Sometimes it'll give you some trouble though. Like you'll kind of push on it and then it will fall back towards you. This cart can also be annoying sometimes. Now in this area, we just want to sneak the route that I'm sneaking. Just always stay crouched here. Then you can start running once you get past those cans. If you knock those cans over, it'll alert them. Those little gnome guys alert him when they run also. But by the time they do that, you're already too far, and you can just climb up the cabinet. Usually I hold the right trigger on this section. If you fall off, you can actually catch yourself on the sides, like what I just did right there. It gives you a little more leeway to kind of try to run. These cages can be a little bit annoying sometimes. Sometimes you get stuck on the fish. You have to reclimb the whole thing. I don't know why those toilets are so close together. So people are pretty comfortable with each other in this world, I guess. Or maybe there's a creature with two butts. In this area, you don't have to worry about being too loud. I think he only wakes up once you get the key. There was one time when his arm got stuck on that side of that bed, and he got stuck there forever. Like, I had to restart my checkpoint. Yeah, those beds are close too. Once you get the key, you just run to this elevator. My controller actually just died, so that's why the game paused. I had to switch batteries. Luckily, once the game is paused, it actually does not take your time. And then we just do the same thing, go past the cans and just make a run for it. That could be a somewhat difficult ledge to grab. So what I do is, instead of dropping each meat individually, you can actually put all three of them on that trapdoor. And it makes it so that you don't have to go up and down that chute multiple times. Yeah, you gotta make that thing swing a little bit more than what I did, or else you'll fall. I was just showing you guys an example. It wasn't an accident. Anyways, yeah, grab the meat. I've never had it glitch on me, but my guess is that it might in somebody else's game at some point have done that. Because if you pull that lever right there, it looks like one of them could possibly bounce off, but I don't know. See how they kind of like tumble down? You'd think with that whole hunger problem that she would grab like this food that she's passing by and put it in her pockets. If she has pockets, I guess not. Well, it's pretty convenient that when you call the elevator, that creature guy just happens to be already standing in it. Not sure the purpose of shaking that is. See, he's got the right idea. He puts the food in his pockets for later. It's okay if he hears you as you run by, because once you get in the elevator, you're safe. And you just gotta jump in this little tunnel thing. This thing reminds me of like what a pug would look like if they would be kind of in a humanish format. This area you can breeze through pretty quick. I try to take kind of a safe route, but this is one of those areas where if he's running at you, just hit start and restart your checkpoint. I was literally just being safe right there. You can usually get past this before he goes to that counter right there. Yeah, watch out for the can too. I always go the up route, um, because as you're zigzagging down, you potentially could get caught by him. If he sees you, he'll ignore the machine that you just turned on and just go grab you. This chapter should take you about 15 or 16 minutes, depending on like if you're hitting start to restart your checkpoint in this area. This area can be pretty tricky. You have two chefs, and they don't seem to move until you go certain routes. So if you climbed up the first hole that you saw and went towards kind of where that plunger is, then it makes that guy start moving in that direction. I waste a lot of time right here before I make a run for it. But you could have just done that right away instead of waiting there the whole time like I did. I don't know, the plates don't really mess you up too much unless they're around and they don't notice you, then it'll alert them. But if they're already alerted, it doesn't matter. This area is one of the areas that I haven't really perfected, so I've done it different ways and it always seems to be around the same time. Okay, so this switch is kind of picky when you grab it, and then you can't run like through it. I guess that would make sense to be able to, but it's really hard to get past it, I guess, so to say. So this part right here can be kind of tough because you can't see the middle perfectly from that vantage point. Sometimes that other chef will be in the middle, so you got to be careful. So as long as you get up the plates, you're okay for now. So that chef's using a shortcut. You have to drop onto those plates right below. If you wait too long, that chef will grab you. Always go below the table. If you go around it, that chef will catch you. Now this part can be super tricky to grab a hold of this hook just in time. I can't tell you how many times I've died on that spot doing the exact same thing that I just did right there. So this seems like the end of the chapter, but it's not. It's a pretty long loading screen for not being the end of the chapter. While it's loading, though, it's not actually using up your time. It only uses time if you're actually like playing the game, not if it's paused or if it's loading. I have fallen off of this pipe a lot of times and died, which really sucks because you're at the end of the chapter And it's not like you're doing any puzzles or there's any monsters running after you. So you got to be careful running over that pipe. Climbing this chain takes a long time too. I feel like the first chapter was kind of like a prison type area for those kids. Yeah, this ladder and that chain takes forever. I think they're just trying to show off the graphics and stuff. This is pretty easy to run across, but you still got to be careful.